Hi everyone, this is Dr. Adil Makbul again going to take your subject sales and marketing management of the unit 2. We are going to discuss these 5 6 topics, that is the concept and significance of consumer behavior, the factors influencing consumer behavior, buying motives, buying habits, buying processes, and customer relationship management, and at last we will take up the marketing research. So today in this presentation, I am going to start with the concept of and significance of consumer behavior. This is topic 1, concept and significance of consumer behavior. So let us start with knowing what is consumer behavior, or what exactly the meaning of the consumer behavior is. So the consumer more generally refers to anyone engaging in any of the activities, that is evaluating, acquiring, using and disposing of the goods as well as services. So under this concept of consumer behavior, it is very important that we would like to first know the difference between the consumer as well as the customer. So I would like to say that consumer is the person who ultimately uses the product, and customer may be the user or may not be a user. For example, if your father buys some product for you, so he is a customer, and since you are going to use that product, you are the final consumer. So this is the basic difference between the consumer and the customers. So consumer behavior is a decision process and physical activity individual engage in when evaluating, acquiring, using, disposing of the goods and services. So for a marketer or being a marketer, it is important for us to know the behavior of the consumers. They behave while they are buying a product, evaluating a product, purchasing a product or acquiring a product, and disposing of a product, means they do not want to use that product further and they are looking for a new product. The consumer behavior, the study of the consumer behavior is very important from the point of view of a marketer or an company's entrepreneur. So there are certain basic definitions I have given here. The consumer behavior is the process whereby the individual decide what, when, where, how, and from whom to purchase goods and services. This is the definition given by the Walter and Paul. Another definition which is given by the American Marketing Association, consumer behavior is the dynamic interaction of cognition, behavior, and entrepreneurial events by which human beings conduct the exchange aspects of their lives. So this is the opinion of the Association of the Marketing, American Marketing Association. They have feel that the consumer behavior's meaning is exactly cognition, behavior, and environmental events by which the human beings conduct the exchange activities or buy a particular product. Some other definition is here that consumer refers to the action and decision processes of people who purchase goods and services for personal consumption. This is given by the Peter and Bannett. This is also one of the best definition of the consumer behavior. There is some other definition is also here that consumer behavior refers to the mental and emotional process and the observable behavior of the consumers during searching for, purchasing, and post consumption of the product services. So what is the behavior of the consumer while they think of buying a particular product and selecting a product from the different alternatives, and what is the opinion of the consumer after buying a product, that is the post consumption behavior of the product. That is also important for the marketers, because that gives an image, an impression in the mind of the marketer to go with the similar product or make certain changes in the attributes of the product. So this is the definition given by James F. Angel, Roger D. Blackwell, and Paul W. Menard in 1980s. There are different types of the consumer behavior. So here I have taken the four types. The first is the dissonance reducing buying behavior. This is the first type of behavior where the consumer's involvement in the purchase activity is high and customer cannot find a substantial differentiation among the alternatives. So the consumer is highly involved and sees little difference among brand alternatives. For example, if the consumer is buying a mobile phone, so his involvement in the product which are available in the market is more, is that they have to think of the all the features that are available in different brands. So he go inside the different brands and then finally choose a one brand. So this is the dissonance reducing behavior where the purchase activity high, the activity is very high and consumer cannot find a substantial differentiation among the alternatives. Basically this happens with the mobile phone. If you are not going with the iPhone, or if you are going to buy any of the Chinese products which are available in the market of the same range, so it would be very difficult to choose the one product amongst the different alternatives. This is also one of the consumer buying behavior, that is the complex buying behavior where the consumer is highly involved but he finds a substantial difference. This is opposite of the dissonance reducing behavior. There is a big difference between the different brands which are available in the markets among all the products of luxury or as well as the daily news. So in this case, the buyer develops beliefs about the product or service, then he develops a set attributes, attitude towards the product, and finally he makes a deliberate choice. So this is the case where the product are expensive, bought infrequently, risky and highly self-expressive, like if you are buying a washing machine, that is not frequently you buy that. If you are buying a house, if you are buying a mobile phone like iPhone, or if you are buying a laptop or a car, any luxury item which is in which you are have to be fully involved, and there is a big difference between different brands of price as well as the attributes. So this is called complex buying behavior. Another type of the buying behavior is the variety seeking buying behavior. Means the people, they cannot buy a product if there are no different varieties are available in the market. So this kind of a behavior is shown in some situation where the consumer shows low involvement behavior, but there is a significant brand difference. So consumers show a high level of the brand switching behavior. So because his behavior is that he would like to see different products available in the markets. For example, in soap, so they can see what are the features of soap, Lux, like Liril, Dettol, or the Godrej or anyone else. So they have to go to the frequent the smell of the product, the fragrance of the product, and they have to decide. The last time I have used Lux, now I have to go with the Liril. So this is the kind of a behavior which is also very important from the point of view of the marketers to study thoroughly. Next type of the consumer behavior type is habitual buying behavior. So this kind of a behavior is shown in some situation where the consumer shows low involvement behavior, but there is no or a few significant brand differences are available. So they are habitual, like in necessities. If they are buying Tata tea, then always buy Tata tea. They will not go with another Taza tea or anything else. He is very much satisfied with the Tata, so he will buy Tata. So like in case of a salt, generally people buy Tata salt because the Tata salt is the kind of a product which becomes an habitual behavior of all the people to buy salt. Now come to the significance of studying consumer behavior. Why the study of the consumer behavior is important for a marketer as well as the entrepreneur. So, a study of consumer behavior is significant or rather imperative for the following reasons. What are these reasons? The first is the realistic implementation of the marketing concept. So, I have already told you in the last lecture or in the last video the different kinds of the marketing concepts, that starts with the production concept, product concept, selling concept, marketing concept, and societal marketing concept. So, generally we use last two concepts, marketing concept and societal marketing concept, because they both are based on the pull marketing concept, that the orders are to be developed after knowing the need and wants and the desires of the consumers. Then we have to develop the product, otherwise we cannot develop the product. So the first significance is that the realistic implementation of the marketing concept. If we know the consumer, if we know the consumer behavior, then it will be very easy for us to implement the marketing concept, which is based on the need and wants and desires of the consumers. Second is planning product differentiation and market segmentation. So for planning product differentiation strategies, that is making the product so differentiated and unique that consumer may tempted to buy only that product due to the unique features or attributes. So every time new model comes into the market, like if you say iPhone, in the next model there are certain other features which are available, which may be different from the previous one. So developing these features is important if you know the consumer behavior, because this is the behavior of the consumer, that when the new product comes into the market, it starts with the initial state, then come to the growth state, then come to the maturity state, and at last to the declining stage, and last to last is the death state. Means the product is disposed of by the consumers and they do not further want to use that product and they are looking for a new product in the market. Now come to the next, that is selection and distribution of the channel is also one of the important part. The consumer behavior not only includes what consumer buy, but also source from where they buy, either online or offline or from a direct channel or an indirect channel. So a study of the consumer behavior guides the marketer to select suitable channels of distribution to provide maximum convenience and satisfaction to the different group of consumers. The fourth one is the designing promotional techniques. The author is talking about the 4P, that is the promotion. Means promotional techniques include advertising, message, media, personal selling approaches, and special sales promotional devices. Designing promotional techniques is much facilitated by the study of consumer behavior. That is the trade-off between the fifth one is the trade-off between the consumer trade-off between the consumer selection process. Price and quality is important, that a study of consumer behavior is likely to reveal whether target consumers of the enterprise emphasize more on the price of the product or its quality. On the basis of the marketer can devise the suitable pricing strategies and programs aimed at upgrading the quality of the organizational products to suit the needs, habits and behavior of the consumers. So this is all about the consumer behavior. Now come to the factors that influencing the consumer behavior is also very important. Consumer behavior refers to the action and decision making process of individuals in purchasing or using a product or a service. Understanding these factors helps marketer design better strategies in order to increase the sales turnover or increase the volume of the sales. Influencing factors are generally categorized into cultural, social, personal, psychological, economic factors. These are some of the factors which we have to study. So these are the categories of influencing factors which are important to study in the consumer behavior, that is cultural factors, social factors, personal factors of the individual, psychological factors. Here in this chart, I have discussed some of the factors like psychological factors, which include motivation for buying a product, perception of the consumers in the mind of the consumers about a product or a service they are going to purchase, learning how much the consumers are learned about the product or a service, like hotels, attitude and beliefs. So these are the four factors which comes under the psychological factors and which are very important to study by the marketers or the entrepreneur. Social factors means the family, what is the family background of the consumers and how much he depends upon the family, how he take the decision as per the family's decision, or he takes his own decision. Reference group are those groups on which the consumer believes more. For example, if my friend who's using the product, and I am very much convinced that if he is using that product, this product will be a perfect product. So I will go with his. So he is my reference group. Roles and status of the people in the society. He is a CEO of a company or a middle level people in an organization, or a low grade clerk or in an organization. So that is the role the consumer play in the society where they live. Cultural factor include the culture. For example, the culture of India is different with the culture of the China. So the food habits of Indians are different in comparison with the Chinese. Subculture means under the culture what are the different other groups. For example, in Muslims also there are certain other caste and they have different cultures. The Muslims of the Saudi Arabia, they wear different kind of clothes in comparison with the Muslims who are living in India and Pakistan and Bangladesh. So this is the subculture. Social class of the people is that class in which they belongs. They belongs to a middle income group or a high income group or lower income group or an average income group. So the class of the people to whom they have to sit and live is also different. Personal factors like the demographic factors, the age of the consumer or the customer, the income level of that, occupation, is a doctor or an engineer or a serviceman or a labor. So the behavior will also be different. The lifestyle of living is also one of the personal factor or demographic factors. Liquid assets, liquid assets of the consumer means the cash availability with the customer to buy the product. Economic factor means personal income of the consumers, family income of the consumers. Income expectations means the income which is going to be increase or increments they are expecting in the next few months or a year. So they will buy a car. Consumer credit, they believe on in buying the loans or not. They want to take the credit from the market because in the markets and all the showrooms, a lot of finance companies, they are sitting to finance you a product and the savings they have in their account. So these are the different factors which influence the consumer behavior, and we believe that these factors really very important for a marketer or an entrepreneur to study thoroughly before going into the market. Here I have discussed all these factors. The culture means the fundamental determinants of a person's wants, behavior. Subculture means group within that culture that share the values, for example, nationality, religion, as I have already told you. The region means the geographical location where they live. Social class, the people within the same social class often show similar buying behavior. For example, the preference for traditional clothing or a local cuisine is one of the example of social class. Social factors, reference group, as I have given groups that influence an individual opinion and behavior. For example, my friend, I have given you the example. Family means primary social group affecting buying decisions. Roles and status, a person's position within the group influence choices. For example, a working professional may buy formal wear to reflect the status. The personal factors, as I have already explained you, the age, lifestyle, occupation, economic situation, lifestyle, personality, and self-concept of the consumers. Psychological factors are motivation, perception, learning, belief, and attitudes. Motivation means internal drive to satisfy needs. Maslow's theory, there are different stages of the consumer needs, as the Maslow said. So that has to be very important, that from what motivates a person. Perception, how consumers interpret the information. Uh, Learning, changes in behavior from the experience or the advertisement. Belief and attitude strongly shape brand preferences. So these are the certain factors which comes. Economic factors which I have added are the personal income, disposable income. Disposable income is basically that income which is over and above with your daily expenses or monthly expenses. Some income which you feel that is disposable, so they invest in different shares or debentures, or they keep it for buying their extraordinary needs. Family income is the, if you depends upon a family income, like you people are students and you belong, you depends upon the family income, so you definitely buy the products as your family suggests you, or what is the position of your family to afford. Consumer credit, I have explained you the loan facilities available and not. Savings means your what you saved, what your family saved. Economic conditions of that country, the GNP, NNP of that country. Inflation and recession is also one of the factor, that if there is high inflation, then definitely you will not be in a position to buy extraordinary products which are over and above your daily needs. Other emerging factors like technological advancement, example online shopping, AI recommendations in the recent years, environmental and ethical concerns, example go-friendly brands, and like e-vehicles. So cultural globalization means exposure to global lifestyles. So consumer behavior is influenced by a mix of cultural, social, personal, psychological, economic factors. So marketer must understand these influences to effectively target and certify consumers. So while deciding or making a particular policy or a strategy for buying a particular product, they have to be very much careful about they have to very much depend upon these important factors before making any policy or a strategy for a particular product or service. Now come to the third topic, that is buying motives, buying habits, and buying process. Very important topics, these three important topics. What is the motive behind buying a particular product? It is belongs to our daily needs, is a daily product, or it's a shopping product, or is a luxury product, or is a uh, is a product which you desire more. So a buying motive is the reason that prompts a consumer to purchase a product, and this is different in different kinds of the product, like specialty product, daily needs products, luxury products, and what we call the consumer durables. So in all these different specific products, the buying motive is different. So it represents the driving force behind buying decision. What is the force which which insists you to buy this particular product? So understanding motives helps marketers influence consumer choices effectively. This is the definition given by W.J. Stanton. A buying motive is a reason or psychological force that prompts a person to buy a particular product or service. A very simple definition. This is the force, psychological force or a reason that motivates you to buy a particular product. For example, if you are hungry, so the hunger is the reason. that motivates you to buy a product which is easily available near to you. है ना? For example, if I am hungry and also I want a pizza, so it means I am not very much hungry because the pizza is not available there. You have to go to 20 miles away to buy a pizza. It means you are not hungry. So that is not the reason. Hunger is not the reason. The need or your choice of buying a product is pizza. It means hunger is not the reason, but your आपकी ख्वाहिश जिसे कहते हैं, that is the reason to buy a pizza. The motives converts desires into actions. So they are based on both emotional as well as rational considerations. Classification of buying motives are primary and secondary motives, product and patronage motives, emotional and rational motive. What are the primary and secondary motives? Primary motives are basic human needs such as food, clothing and shelter. Secondary motives are physical, psychological and social needs like status, pride, comfort or style. That comes under the secondary motive. But the first is the need. For example, buying luxury clothes satisfy comfort, primary, and prestige is the secondary motive. Product buying motives is the second, motivates that drive consumers to buy a specific product type like physical well-being, food, medicines, clothing, comfort and convenience, air conditioners, cars, safety and security, insurance, locks, CCTV, and other drives which you have to put in your front doors. Beauty and styles, cosmetic, fashion products. Economy means low cost and durable products, or you are looking to buy the product from the puttery. Now come to the significance of buying motives. The motives that lead to consumers choose a particular brand, shop or a seller. So these are the different types. Service motive means courteous and quick service. If you are going to a restaurant and if the food is very good but the service is not good, you have to wait for an hour. Then once you will go, but next time you will have to think about the service also. The food is very good, but I cannot wait an hour for a food. So that's not the right place. So this is the location motive. Easy access and convenience means it is very near to your house or very easy to have a proper parking area and everything. Store reputation means trust and reliability on a particular store like Metro Sales or Walmart or for example the Lulu Mall. And if you are going to buy and you have there is a reputation of these stores in the market. Salesperson behavior who is showing you the suits. If you are a girl and you are going to buy suits, and it is the behavior of the girls that they have to look for many suits, then they finally decide one, or sometimes they have to go back without buying a product because they don't like the product. So the salesman should not be irritated in showing the products and should have a kind of a behavior that all the suits which she is asking should be shown to her. After sales service is also another important type of the consumer motive, that maintenance and warranty attached with the products. Emotional buying behavior driven feeling, desires and psychological satisfaction. Example, pride, affection, imitation, fear, comfort, pleasure. For example, buying a luxury car for pride or status. Rational buying behavior based on the logic or reasons, and particularly the examples are quality of the product. Then we are buying a product because iPhone has a very good quality of pictures, as well as there is no virus can enter into the iPhone, so the iPhone is best for me. That is the quality. Price and durability means I'll go for Samsung because the price is also less and have all the features which the iPhone gives, so I like Samsung. So that is if you are price conscious. And if you are price conscious but not believe in the features, then you go for any Chinese mobile phone. Utility and performance is also one of the example of the rational buying behavior. Do you have the utility of buying a smartphone or not? Or the keypad phone is quite enough for receiving a call and making a call. Value for money means if you are expending 15,000 rupees, then definitely you will get a Chinese phone. And if you are thinking of expending more than 25,000, then you will think of a Samsung. And if you are ready to pay more than 80,000, then you can think about the iPhone. So that is value for money. Availability and reliability is also very important. So example is here, buying an energy efficient washing machine to save electricity. That is the reason, the motive behind is the electricity saving, that is the sustainability concept is involved. Here are some importance of understanding the buying motives. Means it helps in product positioning and advertising, guide sales strategies and market segmentations, builds customer loyalty and long-term satisfaction, enhance marketing communication effectiveness. These are the different importance of understanding the consumer motives. Come to the buying habits. Habits means uh, what is your nature of buying a product. So it reflects how, when, and why consumer buy a product or a service. So buying habits refers to the pattern of consumers' purchasing behavior. When the consumers buy more cars or more consumers buy car, so that is at the time of the Diwali, Dhanteras, or the Navrat, they used to buy new products. So this is the habit. The marketers study buying habits to design effective strategies and predict demand. Buying motives are repetitive actions or preferences shown by the consumers in purchasing, influenced by factors such as income, lifestyle, culture, and personal references. So they help businessmen understand customer loyalty as well as brand preferences. So buying habits are the tendencies customers have when purchasing products and services, and these tendencies come from a variety of different factors, many of which seems obvious and unimportant. So when examining buying habits, take into account both physical and mental factors that make up your customer or client base. So by examining the buying habits by a marketer of your customer, you will be better able to build marketing plan that taps into the buying habits of your target customers and drives more sales. So the study of the buying habits by the marketer or an entrepreneur is very important in order to develop marketing strategies as well as the sales strategies of your company. These are the different types of buying habits based on the involvement. Complex buying behavior, as I have already explained you, high involvement, expensive and risky product like cars, laptops. Dissonance reducing buying behavior means high involvement but few differences between the brands. Habitual buying behavior, low involvement, routine purchases, example toothpaste, soap, salt, etc. Variety seeking buying behavior means low involvement but frequent brand switching. From novelty, I have given the example of the Lux, Liril, etc. These are the different factors which influence the buying habits are cultural factors, social factors, as I already explained you, personal factors, psychological factors, and as well as the economic factors. Buying habits by purchase frequency is also important. Routine purchases means made regularly without much thought, example groceries. That is obvious that you have to buy groceries every month and almost all the quantities of the same. But if your behavior is different, then you will have to switch to some other brand if you have used one brand in the previous year. Impulse purchases means unplanned emotional decisions. These are called the unsought purchases also. Some of the products you can see they are in the display, and you have not planned to buy that product, but you buy because it has, you have seen that in the display, or when you are buying the product from the stores. So at the time of invoicing the your groceries, you can see a different products like chocolates, chewing gums, or cosmetics, or some caps, or some socks, or some football, or some toys are there in the near the invoice counter. So to buy it, because either your kid can pick up one of that toy, or your kid can pick up one of the ice cream from the ice box which is there near the invoice counter. Emergency purchases, urgent needs, example medicines, repairs. Special purchases, planned high value decisions like real estate, vehicles. These are the special purchases which are to be very planned. Come to the buying process. A buying process is the series of steps that consumer will take to make a purchasing decision. A standard model of consumer purchase decision making includes recognition of the needs and wants, information search, evaluation of the choices, purchase, and post purchase evaluation of a product. So this is the diagram in which I have shown all these 5 steps, which we will explain briefly here. The buying process means decision making sequence for purchasing goods and services. It helps marketers identify key decision points. It also assists the marketer developing a targeted marketing strategies. It also enhance customer satisfaction and retentions. So these are the different 5 stages like problem recognition, information search, evaluation of alternatives, purchase decision, and post purchase behavior. Come to the first stage, that is problem recognition, means why you want a product. What is the reason behind buying a product? So the process starts when consumer recognize a need or a problem. Are you really in need of buying a smartphone, or the existing phone, which is a keypad phone, is quite enough to meet your requirements? So these are called internal stimuli, means hunger and thirst. For example, आपकी inner feeling क्या है? एक्सटर्नल स्टिमुली मीन्स एडवर्टीजमेंट आपने देखा है, पीयर इन्फ्लुएंस, और लोगों के पास है, आपके दोस्तों के पास है, एंड ऑल्सो दोज who keep a new phone, and you will also something from your inside has happened to buy a new product. So example, realizing your old phone is outdated if you see a new phone in the hands of your peer. Stage 2, information search. So now you have decided that you will buy a product, then you will start searching. So the consumer seeks information about product or service that can solve the problem. These are the sources, internal sources as well as external. Means past experience and memories of the customer or consumer, and external means friends, reviews, advertisement, websites. So example is searching online for the best smartphone is the basic the process the consumer nowadays feel easy to. The third stage is evaluation of alternative. Now you have different alternatives. Now you feel which alternative is best. So consumer compare available options based on product features, brand name or reputation of the brand, price and the quality, convenience and warranty, different after sales service also. The decision criteria vary from person to person. Some persons, they do not believe in after sales service and they buy immediately a product, and some people, they are very much conscious about the after sales service. I am buying this product, where are the service centers are available or not? So comparing Samsung with a smartphone is the evaluation of alternative, the example I have given here. Now after the evaluation and decide that this particular alternative is good, then you will have to come to the fourth stage, that is the purchase decision. Means the consumer makes a final buying choice influenced by product preference either, or brand attitude, or purchase situation, mean discount available, salesperson attitude, or some finance is available on that particular phone. For example, choosing to buy iPhone after evaluating options. The stage 5 is the post purchase decision. Mean after buying, the consumer evaluates satisfaction with the product. So after buying a product, what do you feel? Either satisfied or dissatisfied. The marketers focus on after sales service to maintain loyalty of the product. These are the types of consumer buying decisions: routine response behavior, low involvement, daily goods; limited decision making means moderate involvement, clothing, home decor; extensive decision means high involvement, cars, real estate, house, etc. Impulse buying is spontaneous and unplanned products, which I generally called unsought products, and I have given you the examples of the products which are displayed near the invoice counter in malls. These are the roles played by the marketers in each stage. The problem recognition stage, advertising and brand awareness is very important. You have to advertise your product. The consumer at least know this product is available in the market. Information search stage, provide clear detailed product information. All the information of the product should be available on the websites, on through AI or through social media, whatever. Evaluation of alternatives highlights unique selling point, जिसको कहते हैं USP. अपनी USP बताइए. What is the USP of Maruti cars? You can not. You will be. It will be very easy to find a service center, even in rural areas also. That is the USP of the Maruti Suzuki cars. And the second is that the low price cars, and the cars give best mileage. Purchase decision, at the time of purchase decision, after promotions and easy access, and post purchase provide support, warranties and feedback in channels. कि भाई मेरा फ़ोन ख़राब हो गया, अब nobody is to see that. I am not getting service center. If I go to the service center, they are not giving response, and they said कि हाँ भी छोड़ दीजिए, आप इसको बाद में बनेगा ये. तो that is not a good. So you have to be very careful about the consumers who have already buy your products, so that they cannot switch to another brand, and next time when they buy a phone, they will buy the similar brand. The topic 4 is customer relationship management. This is also very important. CRM जिसको बोलते हैं, customer relationship management means customer care, analysis of the customers, documentation, acquisition, customer loyalty to be developed, database to be maintained from the retailers about the feedback of the consumers, and there should be a proper communication between the consumer as well as the producer, so that the changes, the attributes can be changed, and that is required a proper PR. So through this diagram which I have posted here in this PPT, you can see how the customer relationship management is important. So in other words, we can say CRM, customer relationship management, is a strategy and technology for managing a consumer's interactions and relationships with current and potential customers. It provides collecting, organizing and analyzing customer data to improve customer service, increase customer satisfaction, and build long-term loyalty for personalizing interaction and streamlining sales, marketing and support services. So a CRM system centralizes all customer information, providing a unified view for every department. So in a nutshell, we can say CRM is, which is stand for customer relationship management, a strategic approach to managing customer interaction. Strategic approach to managing customer interactions. Focus on long-term customer loyalty and retention. If you have a proper CRM in your organization, in your marketing, then only you can retain the customers with your brand Otherwise, the customer will switch over to some other brand, some other product, some other company. To focus on long term customer loyalty and retention is the basic aim of customer relationship management. It combines processes, people, and technology. People means the person who is providing the service. Process means the way the service to be provided to the customers, and the technology, if what is the involvement of the technology in purchasing a service. I generally give an example here in a government bank like Punjab National Bank in our university. If you go there, nobody is there to ask you why you come here and may I help you. But if you go to the HDFC Bank, which is a private bank, and when you open the door, somebody will come and ask you, may I help you? And there is a, as for, if we are talking about the system, there is or technology, there is a system over there. If you come for, if you went for opening a new account, you can put that button and the slip will come out, and you have to wait in a beautifully established waiting room with a proper availability of the water, coffee, etc., and the television over which the news is coming on or going on. And whenever your token number comes, you can go to directly to that counter, and so that counter will solve your problem. So this is a system. So the system is very important in maintaining CRM, and this is the responsibility of the CRM. These are the core components of the CRM, that is strategy, means a business strategy focus on building and maintaining profitable customers relationship by acquiring new customers, retaining existing ones, and growing the relationship with them. Processes means a cycle of collecting customer data, analyzing to find patterns, using these insights to engage with the customers. Example, personalized offers, support, etc., and gathering feedback to improve future interaction with the consumers. So this is the process, the strategy process. And third is the technology, means software application that automate and improve business processes related to customer relationship. I'll give you an example of the pantaloons. When I went to the pantaloon, I buy a product, and after buying a product or after getting it invoice, somebody asked me to fill a few points, and he turned off the screen towards me, and I have to answer the question. There are questions involved, the feedback about the salesman, the feedback about the interior of the showroom, the feedback about the quality of the product, the feedback about the variety of the product, the feedback about the different brands availability there. So this is the technology through which they have to get the feedback of the consumers, and that is important for the customer relationship maintaining customer relationship management. So here I have given the different way of the technology we use. Sales, we track leads, manage opportunities, and automate say on tasks like follow-ups. Marketing means manage marketing campaigns and personalize messaging. And customers means record and manage service issues across various channels. So in these three, the technology play a very important role. Different software we use for feedback is very important as far as the technology is concerned. These are the key benefits of the CRM. In centralized data we can have, we can improve the customer service every year, every week, every month. Enhance customer relationship, helps build loyalty, and providing personalized experiences and consistent support. Increased efficiency, it automates tasks and provides a streamlined view of the customer's life cycle across the department. Personalized engagement enables targeted marketing campaigns and tailored communication based on individual customer data. 360-degree customer view is very important. Like if you see nowadays in cars, there is a 360 camera. So it also works 360-degree customer view. Integrates all customer touch points, example calls, emails, website visits, to give a complete picture of the customer relationship. So I'll give you the example of the AI. If you want to search a product, if you have search a product on the Google or a Flipkart or a Amazon, some of the ads of similar products may start coming on your social media network like Facebook and Instagram. So this is the 360-degree customer view. Better decision making, access to comprehensive data and analytics enables management to make more informed strategic decisions. CRM systems are generally categorized by their primary functions. So, in the operational functions, the primary focus should be on streamlining day-to-day customer-facing processes, and the key features of that is Salesforce automation, marketing automation, customer service automation. These are the key features of this primary focus related to the operational CRM. Analytical CRM, analyzing customer data to inform strategic business decisions, the changes if the customer suggests they have to implement in the next product. Data warehousing, data mining, customer segmentation, reporting, and predictive analytics is possible if you are analyzing CRM, if you are using analytical CRM. Another thing is the collaborative CRM is enhancing communication and information sharing across departments with external partners, shared customer records, unified communication channels, cross them communication, cross team communication. Core functionality and features of the CRM is contact and lead management, strong and organizing detailed information about the leads which are coming, or the prospects or the prospective customers who are going through your product through different social media can be assessed. Sales automation means managing the sales pipeline, tracking opportunities, forecasting revenue, and automating follow-up tasks. Marketing automation means executing targeted marketing campaigns, segmenting audience, and tracking campaigns effectiveness. Customer service and support means managing service issues, tracking tickets, providing self-service options, frequently asked questions, knowledge basis, and ensuring timely resolutions. Analytics and reporting, providing dashboards and reports with the insights into the customer behavior, sales performance, and marketing return on investment. Integration means connecting with other business tools like email, Gmail, Outlook, enterprise source planning, ERP system, and e-commerce platforms. Mobile access means allowing employee to access customer data and perform tasks from anywhere using smartphones or tablets. The popular CRM examples are leading CRM platforms include Salesforce. This is also a platform used by different companies. HubSpot CRM is also there, available in the market. Zoho CRM, Microsoft Dynamics 365. These are the different softwares which are available and the companies are using. And the four, as well as the four pillars that successfully CRM strategy required is the people, means ensuring the employees are trained, motivated, and embrace for a customer centric culture. Strategy means aligning CRM initiatives with overall business goals and objectives. Processes, clearly defining the consistently following the methods for consumer interactions. And technology means selecting and using the right software tools to support the defined processes and strategy. Come to the last topic of this second unit, that is the marketing research. So, for a marketer, and if you are using or working on the modern concept of marketing, or if you are implementing in your organization the modern concept of marketing, that is the pull concept, it is very much important for you to have a very good marketing research system in your organization. Otherwise, you cannot survive and you will be away from the market. So, the marketing research is defined here as the systematic, objective, and exhaustive search for the study of the facts relevant to any problem in the field of marketing. If you are talking about the marketing research, if you are talking about the scientific research and environmental research, then we have to go with that. So marketing research may be described as the method of gathering facts to be used by the executive in formulating policies and plans or developing strategies. So it can also be defined as the systematic gathering, recording and analyzing of data about problems relating to marketing of goods and services. So marketing research is a technique to know who are customers of our products or service, where do they live, when and how do they buy the product and service, are customer of our product satisfied with the products or not, who are our main competitors in the market. You have an eye on the competitors, otherwise you cannot survive. So in the marketing research, you have to research your competitors also. What are the actions and strategies they are going to follow? You have to have your eye on that, and ear also. You have to open your ear as well as eyes for your the actions of your competitors. Otherwise, you cannot survive. Are the company's product inferior or superior to competitors' products? And what policies and strategies are they following? I have given one definition here. According to the American Marketing Association, marketing research can be defined as the systematic gathering, recording, and analyzing of data about problem relating to the marketing of goods and services. Here are some of the importance of marketing research. Why we have to do marketing research? Because it reduces uncertainty in decision making. If you get the opinions of the customers and then you are going to produce a product, then there is a very nominal risk of failure of that particular product or service in the market. Second, it helps understand market trends and consumer needs. It improves product development and positioning, enhance marketing strategy and effectiveness. Objectives of the marketing research are understand customer behavior and preferences, analyze marketing competition, measures marketing preferences, forecast future market trends. That all depends upon the data which you have collected through your marketing research. For example, if you are going to launch a product in United States of America, so we have to send a team over there and they will conduct the data through market research, whether they need our product or not in the United States. If we'll get a good response, then we can launch that product in the United States, otherwise we'll drop this idea. These are the different types of the research. We have to generally use exploratory research, means primary investigation through questionnaire. We have to develop a questionnaire, ask questions and get the responses, and we have to analyze that response. This is exploratory research. Descriptive research means describe market characteristics, the consumer perception, consumers pattern of using a particular product. So the entire consumer behavior are to be studied in this descriptive research. Casual research, here the cause and effect relationship. If we will increase the price, what will be the effect on the sales turnover? So that is kind of a research is casual research. Quantitative and qualitative research is also important to study. That focus qualitative research focus on understanding feeling, opinion and motivation of the consumers. Use method like interview, focus group and observations, and results are descriptive, not numerical. The results are descriptive, they are not in numbers. But on the other hand, in quantitative marketing research, which focus on numerical data and measurable facts, how many people, what percentage of people, that comes under the quantitative research. In this also we use a survey, questionnaire and statistical analysis of that data has to be done after the entire research or data collection method is over. Then we will use SPSS and analyze the data, make the tables, use some statistical tools to get on the responses. Results can be quantified, compared and used for forecasting. This is the process of marketing research. The process of marketing research involves several key steps, commonly including defining a problem, For every research there should be a problem, then the research will not be there. So developing a research plan, collecting data, analyzing data, and presenting the findings and actions. And these steps help business understand consumer, competitors, and market trends to make informed decisions. So define the problem and the research objective is the very first step. Means clearly identify what the problem you are going to solve through your research, or what problem you have to identify the problem or opportunity you need to address. To establish a specific measurable objective of the research. So under this step you have to know your research question, you have to know your research gap. What the other researches which has been done in the previous years say, and how our research is different from that. So that is the research gap, and you have to clearly explain your research question over here and develop a research plan. This is the next step. Outline the overall approach to solving the problem, determine the necessary information such as their demographics, psychographic, and competitors data. Decide on a specific research design, including whether to use primary or secondary data, quantitative or qualitative method to be used. All comes under this, the second step, where you have to develop the research plan. In the third step, you have to start collecting data, implement the research plan to gather information, and this can involve creating questionnaires, conducting survey, schedules, or other data collecting methods, and gather data from your target audience which you have targeted and to whom you are going to ask the question, and these are your respondents. Fourth step is analyzing the data, means process of cleaning of the raw data, and the required the exact workable data has to be separated from the entire data, and here you have to filter out your data. To analyze the information using the statistical techniques or other methods to identify pattern and insights. Next is the present findings and taken actions. Prepare a report that summarizes the findings and provides actionable recommendations for the decision makers, and present the results to stakeholders in clean and understandable format. Use the insight from the research to develop or adjust your marketing strategies and make decisions. These are the different types of data. Primary data collection method means survey, observation method, behavioral study. You can study, for example, I told somebody to stand on a crossing and count the yellow color cars. So this is the observation method. Experiment is controlled testing, and focus group discussion with a set of panel of persons. Secondary data means the government publication, industry reports like RBI bulletin, or if you are getting DGCI, ES data, or any other data which are collecting from the government records, internal company records like balance sheets of last 3 years, online database and research portals, books, journals, and newspapers is the source of secondary data. These are the different tools of marketing research: statistical software, SPSS, Excel, data visualization tools, or we are using market forecasting techniques, questionnaire and survey design tools we use. These are the limitations of the marketing research. Means it's a time consuming process and also expensive. If you are sending somebody in some other country to do market research of a product which you are going to launch, so is an expensive activity. Risk of inaccurate or biased data, rapid market changes, reduced reliability, sampling errors, and respondent biases are also possible. So these are the few limitations of the marketing research. So at last we conclude marketing research as is a vital tool of modern business, enabling them to understand customer needs, evaluate market trends, and market informed decisions. So by collecting and analyzing accurate data, organization can reduce uncertainty, improve product and service offerings, and create effective marketing strategies. So ultimately marketing research supports better planning, strengthen competitive advantage, and also contribute to a long business access. So marketing research is essential for informed decisions. So being a entrepreneur or a marketer, it is very important for us that we should not take any decisions unless until we have complete findings of a research related to that particular problem. So enhances marketing understanding and consumer focus is also possible through marketing research. It also improves strategic planning and competitiveness of in your product or service fields. So this is all about the marketing research which I have discussed here. So today I have completed five topics. The first is the concept of the consumer behavior. I have discussed the factors influencing consumer behavior. I have discussed what are the buying motives, buying habits, and what is the buying process. And we have a detailed discussion on the customer relationship management, which is also an important ingredient of a marketing theory and marketing practice. So, for a marketer or for an entrepreneur, the customer relationship management is an important field. And nowadays, every company, every organization, they have to have this customer relationship management department in the organization in order to survive in the market. And at last, we have discussed the marketing research, what marketing research is exactly is and why it is needed, why it is important. I have given the importance of marketing research. I have given the tools and techniques used for marketing research. We have discussed here briefly. So that is all about the today's lecture. And in the next lecture, we'll have to give you a video about the third unit. And that's it for today's lecture. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.